What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here. Today, the continuing saga of the Paul Skenes PSA 7. Paul Skenes Redemption. I have made a choice on what I am going to do with this card. I did the video reveal on whatever day that was, Friday, I think, showing off for those that may have missed it. There is a creased corner on the back, possibly two creased corners. Chat or the comment section, I kind of pointed out that the other corner looked a little creased as well. I looked at it maybe just a little tiny bit, not as bad as the other one, but basically back corner creased. She got the PSA 7. It was a redemption from Topps. So the question I had in that video is, what do I do with it? I basically ran through three options. Sell it as is in a PSA 7, crack it, disclose, and sell raw. Or option C, contact Topps to send it in for potential damage replacement. I kind of worked through those various different things. I reached out to Topps. They have a very nice little chat assistant thing on their website. I don't remember that being there in the past, but I've only reached out to Topps like one or two other times for stuff. And they reaffirmed what I basically thought, which was, if the card is grades lower than a PSA 8, or in their estimation would grade lower than a PSA 8, then it would be eligible for damage replacement. Now, this one is a clear-cut case. There is no guesswork on whether or not it's going to grade less than a PSA 8 because I have it graded in a PSA 7. So there is zero way they can deny it for that. The scary part about the Topps damage replacement option is that, I have no way of knowing if they have the same card available. A Paul Skenes green sapphire out of 99. There is a chance, which the representative warned me, that I may not even get a Paul Skenes card back. Essentially, what they guarantee is equal value or better. So this right now, last I looked, is about $1,000 to $1,200 for the redemption. So just the redemption piece of paper is going for about $1,000 to $1,200, just depending on the day. So I should, in theory, be guaranteed at least $1,000-ish card. But it may not be a Paul Skenes card. Now, it was cool to pull the Paul Skenes card. I was probably going to sell the thing instantly anyway. So Skenes is obviously more liquid, way easier to sell. Unless they sent me like an Otani or something like that. But there is a little bit of risk there of like, what is their determination of $1,000? Because what they think is worth $1,000, I might not think is worth $1,000. Now, there's a decent chance this set just came out not that long ago that they would still have stuff laying around for it. So maybe I get another Skenes Sapphire Auto back. I guess potentially I could even get upgraded on it in theory. So that is definitely a risk with that. Selling it in a PSA 7 or cracking it and disclosing it. The cracking and disclosing, that was my least likely option of the three. If I'm going to crack it and mag it and then disclose, hey, there's a bad corner here. It was a PSA 7. Then why wouldn't I just leave it in the PSA 7 slab? I guess aesthetically it looks better in a mag than in a PSA 7. I don't know. And then leaving it in the 7 and selling it as is, my concern there was, and the comment section backed up my concerns, is that someone would crack it and then just sell it raw and not disclose what is going on with the card. And the amount of people, go back and look through the comments of the video reveal, the amount of people that suggested crack it send it to ComC and just let it rip were a little scary. Because basically they were saying, well, if it's on ComC, maybe no one will. The inference was, I should say, is that if it's on ComC, no one will notice the damage, and they may or may not notice it. So you could basically sell it for raw, like full raw value, and not have to disclose that it has a bad corner. Or a lot of people recommended sending it to consignment, which basically the same thing. Essentially, a decent chunk of comments said you should do something shady with this card to maximize value, and boy, oh boy. One, that is something I would not do. I would not feel good about doing that. Two, I don't want to commit YouTube career suicide. It's a serial numbered card. If I crack it, that video got, I don't know, 6,000 views last time I looked. So everyone knows the 3 out of 99 Paul Skenes green sapphire auto was mine. Not everybody, but enough people know that if all of a sudden it shows up on DC Sports 87 or Fanatics Collect, whatever, it shows up somewhere at a consigning service in a raw format, and the card suddenly disappeared from my possession, people are going to put 1 and 2 together, and that's just not what you do. That's not how you conduct business. So that was a non-starter for me. If I publicly sold the card and then it ended up there, that's a little bit of a different story. It's out of my control at that point. But my concern is that's what would happen. If I sold this thing as a 7, someone's going to look at it and be like, hey man, I'll just crack that thing and sell it raw. We're good to go. Or I guess this would have been option 4, the illegal option, or I shouldn't say illegal, the frowned upon, the even more frowned upon option, which I did not even note in the video. There's a decent chance if I sold this as a 7, someone would crack it, put a little Kirch juice on it, do a little Deshaun Watson massage on that corner, and all of a sudden she'd be back at PSA for a 9 or a 10 or whatever. And then, it's going to show up 3 out of 99. And then in a couple months, I'd be able to do a cool video saying, hey, by the way, that card probably got Kurtzed because it has a bad corner. Now, PSA does supposedly track serial numbers these days, so maybe they would catch that. I don't know. But regardless, none of those really seemed like great options overall for varying different reasons. My other favorite comments on those videos were, crack it and send it to SGC. I must have missed a memo, and I mean, I cover a lot of hobby topics, but I must have missed this one. I didn't know SGC, crack it and send it to SGC. I didn't know SGC offered a corner repair service, because everyone was like, oh, SGC will give that a 9 all day long. 8.59. I don't think so. I don't think SGC is giving this a 9. It has a creased corner. Like, what is cracking and sending to SGC gonna prove? Maybe it doesn't get a 7, maybe it gets an 8, but what's the difference between an SGC 8 and a PSA 7 on an ultra modern card? Probably nothing in terms of value. So that was a non-starter, and really, honestly, didn't make a ton of sense to me when I was working through this thing logically. So that gets us back to the beginning. It's going back to Topps for damage replacement. A couple different reasons for that. One, it potentially gets the damage card off the market, that it won't circulate around. Someone juice it, someone try to pass it off as a better condition card than what it actually is. So it takes this damaged one out of circulation. Since it's graded a PSA 7, there is no question. If I sent this thing in as is, not slabbed, I could see them being like, oh, we think that's an 8. Like, we think, like, they could easily say, oh, that'll probably still grade a PSA 8 and deny the damage replacement. Now, they might not. They might swap it anyways. But with this, there is zero question. It is a PSA 7. It says, states right on their website, PSA 8 or lower. I'm sorry, lower than a PSA 8 qualifies for damage replacement. So I've printed off the little packing slip that you have to print out. I printed out the shipping label. I got myself a little USPS flat rate box that this bad boy is going to go in, and she is going back to Topps. When I have done this before, and I've only done it once, and I just recently had a friend of mine do it for a different card, usually takes about a month. So they're going to get it. They got to do their thing. And then, I'll get a card back. And listen, I'd be lying too if this isn't good content. I'm a content creator, and documenting this little Paul Skenes journey is a interesting little series of videos that we're going to get out of this, from the original box break to the redemption reveal to the grading to now this, and now I'll see what I'll get back from this. And is it the same card? Do I grade that? Do I sell it raw? I know one thing, whatever they say, if they sent me another Skenes out of 99, I would be very hesitant on grading it just based off this whole situation. I'm going to have to really look that thing over with a fine-tooth comb, because they would send it with a top sticker on it. And I think it might be, there's some angle here of just selling whatever they send me in the sealed top sticker. Because my other thought process is, by the time this all resolves itself, it's going to be very close to baseball season. Like, assuming this takes a month to get back to me, it's probably going to be either into March or close to March. I would love to get whatever they send me back before the Shipshawana show at the end of February, but that is going to be cutting it very close. I'm not expecting that, but that would be fantastic. And then maybe I could potentially just move it there and not deal with the grading aspect of it. Let someone else take that risk. But we'll see. Obviously, I'll have to look the card over whatever they send me back. So the journey of the Paul Skenes redemption continues. It was fun knowing you, serial number 3 out of 99. But you're going back home. You're going back home, and we will see what they send me back as the journey continues of the Paul Skenes redemption card. Sucks too, because it's a really nice auto on that card. But is what it is. We will see what the next step unveils for us. Catch boys and girls on the next one. Update on this story in probably about a month or so. Peace.